Reading for years 3 and 4, week 10, and this is lesson 4. Today's lesson focus, you will be reading as a writer and looking at the language used by the author, and this will include descriptive words and phrases, verbs, adverbs, adverbial phrases, conjunctions, simple sentences, sentences with commas, and sentences with a question mark or exclamation mark. Today's learning objective. I can discuss the language used in a story and your success criteria. I can discuss the language used in a story. I can also explain why the language has been used. I can even give my own examples. Let's take a look at adverbs and adverbial phrases. So we would use these to provide the reader with more detail. They add information to verbs, and verbs, as we know, describe an action. For example, how, quickly, could be suddenly, could be lazily, luckily. When, for example, yesterday, minutes later, now, after. When it was dark, before school finished, soon, firstly, finally, eventually, next week. So as you can see, there are quite a few that you can use with when, where, in school, at home, next to the park, away. There are just a few examples of where. So let's put all this together. So example, when would be yesterday. The verb being ran, because a verb describes an action. And then the how after that will be quickly, and the where is in the playground. Let's have a look at expanded noun phrases. So we use these to add information to nouns, and as we know, nouns are naming words. They make writing more interesting and can help the readers build a picture in their minds. And here are some examples of nouns: house, garden, lady, creature. So now we're going to expand these nouns, and we are going to expand them before and after the noun. For example, the noun in this sentence is house, and we've expanded before by putting the spooky house, and we've also expanded afterwards with on the hill. The spooky house on the hill. Let's look at garden. So once again, we've expanded before and after. Let's read this. An overgrown garden with litter scattered everywhere. And our noun is lady, and we've expanded again before and after. The old lady who lived next door. Finally, creature, and we've expanded before and after. A grotesque creature with an enormous furry body and a tiny head. So you can see expanded noun phrases add a lot more detail and make it a lot more interesting for us to read. And it really does help to picture what is being said and described in your head. We will now look at conjunctions. So conjunctions are joining words that link together parts of a sentence. And there are three main coordinating conjunctions, and they are and, but, and or. They can be used to join together two clauses in a sentence. And here are some common subordinating conjunctions. I'll give you a little bit of time to read these, as there's quite a few of them. So all of these words can be used to link together two clauses in a sentence. Let's look at simple sentences. So a simple sentence includes a subject and just one verb. Here is an example. The boy ran away from the dog. So the subject will be the boy and the verb is ran. Here's one more. The dog barked. So the subject will be dog and the verb is barked. Sentences with commas. So commas can be used to separate items or adjectives in a list. For example, Amy wore a red, blue, purple and white jumper. Or they can be used before the following conjunctions: for, nor, but, or yet. So to separate two independent clauses. And here's an example. He had toothache, so he rang the dentist. They can be used to separate a fronted adverbial from the rest of the sentence. For example, as the last ray of sun disappeared, Yasmin crept silently out of the house. Sentences with question marks and exclamation marks. So question marks are needed for questions. A couple of examples for you. So what is the capital of England? This is a question. And where is my pen? Is also a question. Exclamation marks are used to show strong emotions and feelings such as surprise, despair, anger, excitement, joy, etc. And here are a couple of examples for you. How wonderful. How dare you? Oh no. So you can see these all show strong emotions and feelings. So there is an exclamation mark after. You are now ready to complete your learning activity. So I would like you to read the dump again and see if you can find any examples of descriptive words and phrases. So we've talked about these: verbs, adverbs, adverbial phrases, conjunctions, simple sentences, sentences with commas, or a sentence with a question mark or exclamation mark. So you will need to complete the worksheet. See if you can find any examples of these when you read the dump. Plenary, So try and write your own sentences using all of the following: descriptive words, verbs, adverbs, adverbial phrases, conjunctions, simple sentences, sentences with commas, and sentences with a question mark or exclamation mark. Well done, everybody.